Here we go.
Are we in frame? We're out.
Oh, we're out of frame here. I pressed the wrong button.
Keep going.
Here we go.
There we go.
We're back in camera.
That's it.
So we know that now. All right.
That worked out well.
Hi, John Solari, the method actor speaks, and I don't edit, so you're going to see the goof up anyway. But it's been a lovely day, and I wonder, you have a couple names. I want to know your real name and your stage name.
Okay, well, my real name and my stage name is the same. It's mariaaparis. And the show that I'm doing, the web series I have, is called the Rita Show. So Rita is
that the female
AKA
version of Guido?
Yes, exactly. So Rita has become my new AKA alias. So
now, Paris, is that your married name? Or?
No, so the way the story goes is when my family came over from Sicily and Portenza, my whole family, the Parisis, my grandfather enlisted into the war, and when he did that, signed the paperwork, he left the I off his name. And the entire family kind of freaked. Half of them changed their name and half of them didn't. So I was born in Paris.
Paris. You know, that's, and a lot of Italians, when they came over on the boat, the people that were writing their names would write, my brother-in-law, Musco, they spelled his name wrong.
Right.
And M-U-S-C-O is M-U-S-S-O.
Right.
But then in this country, they're M-U-S-C-O.
C-O? Oh my goodness.
You know what I mean? Musco.
Yeah, Musco.
And they did a lot of that. They changed their name, but that's interesting that Paris and
Parisi, so it's just an I. And
wow,
I think we lost our vowel.
Lost the vowel. I mean, that's a big thing.
It is a big thing. It is a big thing. I think half of our family became very Americanized, and my father never wanted to lose the Italian, so I was always very obsessed with it. We have a lot of family still in Manhattan and in Brooklyn, and just a fun fact for us is my great-grandfather actually was a marble maker, and he put some of the marble in the Grand Central Station.
Oh, they were. You know, a lot of people don't realize that the Italian. You look at all them old buildings in New York. Mm-hmm. They're still left with the great artwork. It was done by the Italians.
Oh, yeah.
They came over here.
Yeah.
And they're still good for your grandfather. Yeah. And has anybody ever thought about maybe going back and changing the name?
Well, I was going to, and I actually told my father, I said, you know what, since I'm now an actor and I'm SAG actor, I want to change it to Parisi. And he looked at me, was just appalled, and he was like, we're Parises.
Really?
And I was like, are we in the witness protection program? Like, I was kind of shocked.
I am too. It's amazing.
But I think he was so proud of how much work my grandfather had put behind his name, because it was my great-grandfather who was a Parisi. And I think he was so proud of his dad that we left it as Paris. So
actually, it's a good name for acting.
It is. No one really knows what I am.
Well, that's. Well, men don't know what women are anyway, so you're safe there. Listen, now, why did you get into this business of acting and comedy and?
Crazy. I come from a big family, and so there's 5 of us in my family, and I'm the second to youngest. And I think a lot of times you compete with your sisters and your brother for attention. So for me, I ended up. I was always kind of like the silly one in the family. Like we had a couple other family members who were more like the clowns, but I was always so drawn to it, and I loved writing poetry as a kid, and I loved like making up little stories, and I would make up these outlandish games for my little sister that were so detailed it was ridiculous. It was always story making, and by the time I got into high school, I started studying Spanish because it was the closest to Italian, and I ended up performing lead roles in Spanish musicals and choreographing them. Loved it and wanted to go into acting, and my parents, who are divorced, the one thing that they both agreed on was no, you can't go to school for it because it's really difficult. How are you going to make a living? You know, the whole 9 yards. And so I went to school in upstate New York, and I got my degree in psychology and a minor in biology, and I wrote, directed, and produced 2 of my own plays. And then I performed at Salt City Performing Arts on the side. Really upset them, but I kept my grades up because I just refused to leave what I loved. And when I finally was free and moved out on my own, I landed Tina in Tony and Tina's wedding.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, the off-Broadway show, and so I've been married over 373 times. And so I tell people it's easy. You just say I do, no big deal. But I did that, and I loved it. So just really just started going. So the comedy just came to me. I loved comedy way more than drama. I think with a big Italian family, you have enough drama to save your life. You don't need any more. So, but yeah, so I really enjoyed it. And when I came to California, it was kind of funny because the casting directors that I would meet, they'd be like, stop trying for these dramatic roles. They're like, you have comic timing. They're like, just go be a comedian, go do stand up, go to Groundlings, do improv. And
really, that's interesting. They would say that.
Yeah. So. I wasn't sure, you come out here and you're fresh and you think everything's, sky's the limit. And so I did Groundlings, and I took sitcom classes, and I just found that for me, I enjoyed more the ensemble pieces, like, doing the improv, but it didn't have the oomph for me that the East Coast did. Like with Tony and Tina's wedding, I felt like it was long form improv. Right. So you were a character the entire time. If you had to go to the potty and you went to the bathroom, you were still in character. In a big old white dress and the veil on your head, it did not matter. You were always in character. And I even, one of my shows, actually popped my arm out of the socket.
Really?
Yes. And I kept on going.
How did that happen?
Oh, God. The guy that plays my Tony, Dominic Viculo, we would always, same dance routine every night. And one night, I don't know if he was tired or I overshot, but he turned me the wrong way, and my arm is, I'm a little hyper flexible, so my arm just went, and he looked at me and I looked at him and I said, okay, the arm's out of the socket, I'm going to go in the bathroom, I'm going to put it back in, you're going to keep on dancing, I'll be right back. And I did. I ran into the bathroom with a bunch of customers in the bathroom, and I just had to complain, and I was in so much pain that I didn't want to break character, so I was just like, I can't believe Tony, oh my God. I'm like, look what he did to me, and you're like kind of doing like the Mel Gibson thing where you're trying to like bang it up against the wall and make sure it's like in. And everybody in the cast trying to find me Advil because we couldn't stop the show. We were in the middle of the show. There was no one to cover.
Did you set it in the
I got it back in. Yeah, I got it back in. And the fun part was the YMCA. It looked like this. I couldn't get my hand any higher. So, but since being in California, they sewed it back in and done a good job. And I've got all my muscle tone back and everything.
Oh.
So, but yeah, but that was the thing. We were tough people.
Tough people.
We didn't stop for nothing. But that's why I enjoy the stand-up out here. I started doing that. I don't know. I think Jimmy Della Valle. I saw on some of the places there's different people that I've done stand-up with, and Karen May, and I. Two stand-up comedians. She's got a little bit more experience than I do, and we got silly one night and we're like, we're never gonna get noticed. So drinking some tequila, sitting back and having fun, we started laughing, and I said, wouldn't it be funny, like that State Farm commercial, if instead like the State Farm lady shows up and there's like an arm in the trunk and the girl's trying to shut it and the girl's got to save the day because she's the State Farm. And we started laughing, and we literally came up with the concept of Rita. I had made that character myself, but we were like, let's put the Brooklyn girl that you do in the show, and let's have her come in instead of the State Farm, and we'll do a little parody. And we just had fun with it. We didn't know that the show would take off.
Wow.
And so there you have two stand-up comedians going, let's try something new.
That's what you got to do, though.
Yeah. You
got to do it yourself.
Yeah. So.
And where do you perform a lot?
So for me, I've kind of stepped back a little bit because some of the hard thing is if you're not a known comedian, you don't get a lot of the good shows, and sometimes you have to do the bringer stuff. So, but I will do Pasadena's Ice House, the Comedy Store, in the Ha Ha Cafe, the Federal Bar. We've even done like Formosa Cafe. And actually,
Formosa has stand-up.
Yeah, they do one night. I don't know if it's one night a week or on Friday nights.
Really?
They have that little area on the side.
They have the back room there.
Yeah.
I used to do a lot of drinking there back in the 80s.
There you go.
I was the only guy that never gave them my picture.
Really?
Yeah, all the actors' pictures. The old owner, he kept asking me for my picture, and I says, no, I don't want to put my picture. I never did.
Yeah.
Never put my picture.
Oh my goodness. Well, see, and that's how I bumped into Rico Simonini. Rico actually is one of my characters, Vincenzo. Actually, I also have him Pasha. I give him different characters. He was in a show. I performed at the Amalfi, the Amalfi restaurant. Above is a place called Room 5. It's right next to Acme, off of right in West Hollywood.
Okay.
And I ended up doing a show over there, and one of my friends knew his group of friends. I met Roast Beef, Johnny Williams.
Oh, yeah.
and because I speak Italian, he was like, "You need to talk to this guy," and that was it. We've been friends ever since.
Were they doing their web thing?
They were doing the it's his detective show. They were doing the Pat Novak.
Oh, because there's another one they wanted me to do, and I turned down.
Yeah. So, so he became a really big help with Karen and I, and I ended up separating from Karen. We decided to keep on going just with Rita Guida for myself, and Rico helps out. Rico helps write, helps edit. I've had him direct with me, and we've had a lot of fun. But it's
he loves the business.
Oh,
Rico loves the business, and he's always. It's one thing I admire about him. I know he's it's a doctor.
Right.
No, listen to that.
Yeah.
But he really loves acting.
Yeah, no, he's good.
Theater.
I know. I hate him for that.
Yeah,
it's not fair. It's not fair that you're that good of a doctor and an actor.
But he loves the theater.
And he's good.
And he'll do any play, this and that.
But his comic timing too, like a lot of, like he did Frank and Ava.
I saw that.
And
I had to see that.
they extended that over and over and over again. And he's great dramatically, but comedy-wise, he's a lot of fun.
Kelly Galindo directed that.
Yes, that's right.
And it was good. I enjoyed it. There's another place I used to drink in many years ago. The Three Clubs. It's very famous.
Yes.
But now like tonight is Monday.
I've done stand up there.
They have do you do the burlesque there? They have
No,
burlesque there every
they
Monday
had
night.
not Monday night. What night was it that I did it? I did a stand up show over there with Brian Swinehart. Yeah.
But what nights do you do the comedy store? My cousin Camille.
When did she go?
She produces a show at the Comedy Store.
Oh, she does?
Yeah, every Sunday night.
Oh.
It's Who Is For Something, it's called.
Well, I do the C Word with Jody Miller. Jody Miller is actually my stand-up coach.
Okay.
So, and she does that on Thursday nights in the Belly Room.
This is on Sunday nights that she does it, I believe, every... Camille, look at you. You're Italian, so she's got to look at you.
There you go.
She just had a baby girl.
Aww.
Charlie. Beautiful baby.
Oh, congrats.
She has so many friends on Facebook, so it's hard to get to her, but I'll give you her email when we leave. Now, did you study acting or anything like that?
I kind of came at this backwards, but I did. I tease people with a psychology background. You really can get into somebody's head.
Oh, yes, you're on it.
You really do. Amazingly. And just adapting to people and their emotions and how you... It's like sales, you adapt, you persuade, you sell, they pull back, you go in for the close. Right. But for me, I did end up, when I was in Florida, I ended up taking Meisner. So I went there, but I love Uda Hagen.
Uda Hagen, yeah.
Uda Hagen, excuse me.
This book here is a book you should get. It's the best book you can buy on acting.
I think I have this one.
Do you have it?
I think so. I might have this in front of it.
A challenge. This is the second book.
Oh no, I'm the first one. Okay.
This one here is the one. Well, even this one, but people buy it. I always put it up here because I do want people to, to see it, and it's the best book on acting there is. The exercises alone.
Right.
That are in here.
Very good.
I had a woman, Mary McKay. She came on the show, and she was carrying this book with her. Because most people buy it. I bet you have it on your shelf.
I do. But I read it, and then now it's on the shelf.
It's in my acting classes, first half hour, we used to read the book.
There you go.
Because you got to read this every day. You find something new.
Okay.
And because actors, we don't practice. You practice your stand-up.
Right. Well, and that, I do take, you do the, everybody does the casting workshops. We do those.
Well, that's,
that does a lot of cold read. But yeah, if you don't study sometimes, you get away from it.
There's a great exercise in here where you just recreate what you did today. Mm-hmm. When you go home. What you felt like coming here when you first saw me.
I'm nervous.
When you first sat down, what did you feel like?
I was a little nervous.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know what he's going to ask.
Right, and that's it.
What do I say?
Those are things that you get for exercise as an actor.
Yeah, no, it's true.
And when you study psychology, I mean, that's a gift because you understand it's like Martin Landau once told us. I heard of him, but others too. You know, all of the things that went wrong in your life, all the pain and all this, that's a gift to the actor.
Yeah.
Especially to a stand-up comic.
Yeah. Oh no, I use it.
You know.
I use it. I've been through the ringer, and some of the guys I've dated in this town and on the East Coast, and
it's
in a bad marriage.
It's a gift that you know you get to use.
Yeah.
It's well, for stand-up comics, I don't know. I always felt it was more like a release.
It's like a therapy session, you know. I'm so silly anyway. I always try to find the silver lining.
Why do you think you're silly?
I think in my family, my dad's the Sicilian one.
Family, you
know, but I think it's what it started from is that, you know, Italians as a whole are kind of like, we're tough people, but we've got a lot of drama. But we always try to find, like at least in my family, always try to find the bright side, and we laugh. My dad would always say, you know, if I didn't laugh, I'd cry. You know, and so that I think I kind of grew up with that mentality. But I had my stand-up, actually, I joke around about my medical problems, which, you know, one of them being the arm coming out of the socket. And in order to deal with it, the pain and everything that I was going through, I made a light of it, and I made other people laugh so that they felt comfortable about being around somebody that just locates a bit.
I understand that. No, I understand it. It's just it's a great way to, you know, when you hear a lot of, I was going to say fat people.
Right.
Overweight is the correct way, I guess.
It's okay, sorry.
You know? You know, how they're very usually funny and usually very good dancers.
Yes.
Always surprised me. How light they were on their feet.
It's true. I don't know why.
It's just, why? I don't know, but how they compensate for what they want and they don't have. But being a stand-up comic, and when you said earlier that the casting directors said to you that you should go into that, I just find that really not very good advice, because some of the most talented people I know are in that field, comics.
Yeah.
You know, you ever watch the late Robin Williams when he did serious roles?
That was his soul.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, it was brilliant.
You know what? You know, when people would say to me, "Who's your favorite actress?" I would always like laugh, because I'm like, I don't really have a favorite actress. There were always these man roles, you know, and it would be Robin Williams because of that simple fact. I would laugh so hard with him, and then watch him do like Awakenings and I'm just trying to think of, Good Morning Vietnam, and you know, and was it Patch Adams? Just these really serious, you know, Dead Poets Society, all these things, and then you go into like Aladdin, where he's playing how many different personalities, you know, how many different voices he portrayed, and just incredible. And I loved how free he was. He just wasn't afraid of anything.
No,
you know, just went up there and just went, and it was beautiful.
Just go for it.
That's
what the business is all about. You try to tell actors that there's so many. I watch television and this and that, and you see actors playing it safe.
Yeah.
And you get nowhere doing that.
Yeah. I had to get out of that. I was accused of that for a long time, and I finally broke through that wall, and now I'm like, here it is. I mean, the worst thing they can do is tell you to pull it back.
Right, that's the thing. A good director would want somebody that's willing to go there, so they can bring back.
Yeah, give them something, show them something.
Work something. Right?
Yeah.
They know that you're there.
Right.
He said, well, I learned from a director, Arthur Penn. He Bonnie and Clyde, he directed the film. And he always told me, John, break the rules. And I'm a firm believer in that. I tell him, break the rules.
Yeah, that's what I plan on doing.
No, you really have to. When you were saying how you created the role,
and
you broke the rules, you just did it. You know, you didn't go the conventional way. You just
I did too, because I got a lot of guff. I went to New York City first, and I auditioned there, tried to get management and agents, and they were literally like looked at my resume. They were like, well, I don't see Juilliard, I don't see this, I don't see that. And I was like, hey, I'm me. And they, you know, they were like, well, we have to do this with you, this with you, this with you. And I moved down into Florida, and I was working all the time in, you know, commercials, independent films. You know, they're non-union, and maybe it's not what LA would hold in their standards. It was amazing. But what I learned was priceless. And in becoming a character and owning it and breaking the walls, and like you said, just going about this completely different.
You have to.
You know, that's what's so much fun about the what I'm doing right now.
Well, I guess in New York they're looking for your training because it's.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in
Well,
New
it's
York.
Broadway. Yeah.
And they want training, and
Yeah.
you do need training.
Yeah, you too. I agree. I agree.
And with in Florida and LA, you don't.
Yeah.
You really don't need it
Yeah.
out here as much
Some of
as
it
you think.
should.
You really should have
should.
it. But if you watch, most of the people now they're coming from Europe, England.
Yes. Yes.
But they train.
Yes, they train, and they're good. I know. I've been to several casting workshops in the last 2 months where the actors are asking, the Q&A, and they're getting frustrated because they're saying, why are all these actors from, Europe, English, Britain, why are they all getting?
Because you're not
these
doing
parts?
the work.
Yeah, and we're like, yeah, we're losing to this.
It's really true. They're not. The actors are not doing what they don't want to train here. They want to be movie stars, not actors.
Right.
And that's a big problem. That's why, I keep the book here for people to understand that this is what, if you read this every day and try the exercises, you'll get somewhere. And it's not easy. I mean, today with the unions all combining and everything that is so, it's not like it was 30 years ago where you had a little bit of better shot. Now you got, and everybody's willing to work for nothing.
Yeah, that's kind of a problem. That's a real problem. That's made, and I think that's the toughest thing is that because everyone's going non-union or working outside the union, it's like $75. We'll put you in this perpetuity. You're going to see your face for the next 25 years on this. You paid $75. I've done it. I mean, living in Florida, it's a right-to-work state. I have a hot tub commercial to this day that's still running. And every time my mother sees it, she calls me. She says, "Did you see this? You didn't get any residuals."
It's
and I'm
true.
like, ugh. But it's hard. How are we supposed to make a living? We can't, So I have other jobs that I do.
Yeah, you do.
In order to do it, and even doing Rita Guida, the money I make in my regular jobs, I have a producer that comes and helps me, and we make it kind of a collaborative thing. But we put money in and we try to pay the crew, and it's all SAG New Media, but it's very difficult, But that's where you start with the passion, the creative side,
You have to start somewhere, and it's just, the union sold us out too. I mean now it's $100 a day.
Yeah.
Residuals are down to like 30%. I remember when I worked, I knew my next check, my first residual was 100%.
Nice, yeah.
What I made.
Yeah.
So you always knew that so when you worked one day, it was like you knew your first check would be
good.
Pay the rent. It would be the same amount.
Right. Commercials, people were buying houses.
Oh, you made a ton of money.
Oh my goodness.
I was one of the last few. I did a Kentucky Fried Chicken with George Foreman.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, we did one.
I have his grill.
And before, he probably did have the grill too then. This was Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah.
And we were going to make a fortune, but it didn't run that long. Something happened. But then they went downhill. Commercials now, you make nothing on it.
Oh no, it's not the same. And a lot of it's gone non-union too.
A lot of it's non-union.
A lot of non-union.
People don't realize how much that is. I keep looking up to make sure.
Are we okay? We're in?
Let me just look a little bit here. Yeah, we got about 7 minutes to go.
Oh, look at that. Time flies.
It's the pink behind me. Usually with the black I could see the white writing.
I like
up
it.
there.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Can you see next
I
to
can see it. I can
the
see the
time?
display.
Yeah. Oh, that's really great.
Yeah, we're just staring at you who's watching us.
Was watching you. And,
that's right. We see you in your underwear. Yeah.
So where are you going now, though? I mean, are you performed the Guido?
Yeah, so Rita Guida. So,
is it on?
So it's an ongoing web series now.
Oh, it's a web series.
Yep, so it
I
is,
don't think
and we
we'll
do
see
have
it.
a SAG signatory and everything. So we have it. It's www.ritaguida.com. And
Spell Guida for that.
So Guida is just like Guido. So Guida, Guida. So Rita, Rita, Guida, and it's .com. And I got it up on YouTube, so you can watch all 6 episodes. The first 3 pilot episodes star Karen, May, and myself, and then we get into our how-tos, like how to collect a debt, mafia style, how to find your very own BFF, mafia style, and my new one of my faves at this point is Rita Therapy. it's taking off at this point. What I like to do with the show is we're trying to put together sketches. So we want to do, they're only 2 minutes, so there's no excuse. You got time, just put it on your iPhone and just watch. But what we do is we're starting to introduce different characters. I am a character actor, so in Rita therapy, I play 2 characters, not just one. So I have different things going on. And Rico comes in and comes out. I've got Jimmy on my show, Joseph, China. We have different people that will do different characters. We do different sketches, and so it's not just Rita Guida. It's kind of like Carol Burnett show. When you watch Carol Burnett back, maybe not, maybe some of you are too young. I would say, let's see, like Mad TV. When you watch things and you've got the same actors, but now a totally different sketch. And that's what we're doing. And what the goal for me is to actually put together a 1 hour and try to distribute it. So that.
But each episode is only 2 minutes.
It's only 2 minutes. So.
Wow, that's
just to start off and show people what the characters are, get people used to the idea. People have asked me, why don't you make it 5 minutes? Why don't you make it 10 minutes? And I said, well, have you watched YouTube? I mean, what really gets the hits are your cat flushing a toilet, your dog doing something. It's not. And so I made them quick. I made them short and fun because a lot of people don't have the attention span they used to.
But I'm trying to figure how do you do something in 2 minutes? You really have to produce something.
Yeah, it's fun. We got to come up with a concept in the beginning, the middle, end, boom. And that's where I would start to have trouble sometimes, because writing, you start going too many pages and you're like, okay, wait, that's not going to work. I got to back this up. And Rico was really great like that, because Rico would be like, no, what is this? Fix that, put that there. And it would just be like, what's the most important thing in the next 2 minutes? Well, this has to happen and this has to happen. Okay. And it's just it's amazing. I still surprise myself on pulling it off, but just really quick takes, in your face, funny.
And where does your ideas come from?
A lot of it comes from just things that have happened to me personally. I lost my best friend. Karen and I had gotten into a big fight about our show. So when I wrote How to Find Your Very Own BFF, that just came because I was kind of mourning the loss of her, and we're friends now again, but we had a good laugh about it, because I did it more mafia style, so it was more tongue-in-cheek of what's the most important thing to a Guida girl to find it.
It's funny you saying mafia style. My agent, he's a rabbi now.
Oh.
Craig Wyckoff.
There you go.
He said he had me checked out.
Oh, did he?
He said, I know you're the real thing.
See?
He did.
See? Oh.
I had an agent.
He
used to just call me up when somebody would call him up and say, hey, John said you might be looking for some help. And I said, that's what he would call me. He wanted to know if this guy was all right, if he was connected or what. He didn't call me for work.
No, he just called you for... Nice.
Do you know this guy? Do you know that guy? I said, I don't know nobody.
That's it.
But it was amazing because how people get that. I couldn't believe he said he had me checked out. And he was trying to get them to do my life story, but I'm not into that.
Careful.
I'm not into that anymore. I got other things better to do than tell my story. Which is, for me, it's a gift. Mm-hmm. Actors would love to have my background of knowledge of what I've been through.
Oh, heck yeah. Like you said, you pull from it. I pull from it every day,
I had a lady on Facebook the other day. She said to me, aren't you a little bit old to still be called John? I said, well, Fat Godmine gave me that name in 1969, and I earned it.
That's it. That's the one.
Because you know my name out there, people say John, they know who I am.
Yeah. Well, that was it. I was like, no, it's John Solari. I'm like, no, it's Italian. I'm like, come on. They're like, no, it's John. I'm like, all right. All right.
That's who they know out there.
Yeah.
And like I told this woman, I earned it.
Yeah.
Godmine gave me that name in 19...
And you know what? That's the scary part, is that nobody really actually understands how someone earns a name like that and what's in that background. And that's why my family lives in Syracuse, New York.
Right.
We got out of there.
Well, the first thing he said to me, he says, you're with us now.
Yeah.
Even when you're wrong, we make you right. I love that.
Right? That's good, though.
And I've lived by that all my life. I took advantage of that, I must say, in my youth.
You too. I like that.
But I did, and anyway, listen, Maria. At least you got an Italian name.
Yeah, no, Maria.
Maria.
Yeah.
It's a lovely name, and I want to thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much.
You know what you got to do? You got to bring your. We can Skype one, or we could. I get you on with.